Okay, fairly speaking, most of the course components are of equal importance. Yet the micro-teaching sessions followed by feedback from both peers and instructors were significant.
For me, I think it's the realization of what teaching means in the various disciplines. And I think as graduate students, we can all relate that we're very isolated in our discipline-specific courses. And it's really nice to see all the different graduate students from different faculties come together into a classroom and really emphasize what teaching means to them and see how everything fits together.
So the first one of the first things in the course, relatively early, was the teaching philosophy. So the biggest thing I took from the course is starting off and kind of reflecting on what I have in mind in terms of teaching and the practices that I do. And as the course went, because I already had that laid down really early, as I learn more about like all the different practices, all the different techniques, or all the different theories, then I can kind of go back to my teaching philosophy and say, well, I should really incorporate these things because they're really good. They're really missing from all the things that I already do. Or okay, what I do is good, so I should keep doing that.
As graduate students, we're so busy and pulled in so many different directions. So having time in my schedule allowed me to really focus and dedicate that time to working on my teaching philosophy statement, different assessment practices, and how I really want to interact and incorporate some of the evidence-based strategies for teaching into my teaching, and then talk about it to potential employers.
I would say that the group project that we completed actually required coordination and interaction among the students and the members of each group. And each one of these students came from different field of study and different working in different lab and departments. But I would say that we took this as a privilege instead of looking at it as a challenge. And one of the ways that we did was that in our initial meeting, we tried to actually set our goal and define each member's role. And after that, indicated the deadline of each part of the project that was assigned for each one of the students. That was happening in the initial meeting. And then afterward, we tried to actually have much more closer communication through the email and update what we did over time each other, and also actively engage in this project by responding to the comments, suggestions, and questions of our group mates to ensure that all of us are on the same page and we are on track in order to reach out the goal.
I found the biggest challenge was managing my time and complementing my coursework, that I was also taking TA duties, all of that different stuff. So how I kind of overcame managing a time crunch was making my assignments work double duty for me. So for example, being in the health science field, but also with a teaching background, I put together a course design or a course syllabus that was reflective of things that were going on in my field.
So the most challenging thing for sure was the group assignment. You pick out a part of like a certain aspect of teaching and then you kind of go into detail on it, and the topics are very broad. And because the topics are very broad, it's great because you can make your own twist and change, like you can look at whatever you want. But also, if you don't choose something specific about the topic, then it becomes really hard to kind of condense something into 20 minutes.
I found that this course was the most different from other courses that I've taken in that just the extent of interactiveness. I guess just being in the basic sciences, we're often taught more of the lecture style where there's a lecture and then we go through PowerPoint slides. But being engaged with all the different platforms that we've used, like that was very new to me. So being exposed to that kind of different teaching trend was very different, and it was really nice to be exposed to that.
As a graduate student who is busy with research and TA duties, this course might be time demanding. Thus, finding a better way to manage and balance your own time and agenda during the semester can make the difference.
I mean, some things, some strategies aren't going to necessarily fit your personality, but play with them anyway. This is a kind of a very safe zone to fail, kind of fail fast, fail forward, fail frequently. The cohort that I was with was really supportive, and if something doesn't work, or maybe it's just a time thing within the lesson plan that you're trying to execute, that's something that you can learn now in a classroom of supportive peers, as opposed to learning in front of maybe a room of 40 students.
The instructors were really approachable. So if you have any feedback, they're really open to feedback, and they're willing to help with a lot of problems, especially, for example, if you have problems with assignments or with the group, they're very open to helping with that.
Prepare, participate, and practice. Prepare before coming to class. For example, complete the designated readings. Second, during the class session, participate by contribute to discussions and activities. Finally, if you have TA duties, try to put forward the knowledge gained into practice, whether you are teaching, tutoring, or holding a lab sessions.
What I would suggest to the students in this course is that try to make a link between what you learn in this course with what you are going to teach in your classes to your students. And in this way, you would be able to adjust the lessons that you are teaching in your classes, and you will definitely find teaching like much more pleasant and enjoyable for yourself than before if you apply these lessons in your classes. That's something that I experienced, and from the feedback that I learned from my students in the class when I was TAing them, they were very happy when they noticed that I changed some of those lessons from the past to the new lessons.
I think being really open-minded and trying to explore and be more creative in your teaching styles. Don't just go with the archaic, traditional teaching styles that we've been often taught, but trying to open out, branch out into how others disciplines may be doing it, and then trying to see how maybe not everything, but certain aspects can fit into your discipline. I found that to be helpful for me. Yeah.